Hi there, today I'm going to show you 18 different Kindle features that you probably haven't heard of before. Let's jump into it. The first tip I have over here is something called the reading information shortcut. Now when you're reading a book on your Kindle, you probably have seen on the bottom left a little information bar with how much time is left in the book or in the chapter or what page you're on. And the normal way of changing this is going into settings and choosing what you want to be shown in that bottom left corner. But a quick way to navigate through that is by simply tapping on the text at the bottom left over here. It will cycle through each option every single time you tap on it. If you're ever reading a book on your Kindle and you stumble upon a typo or a mistake in the actual text of the book, there's actually a way to report this so the author can correct it for future people who buy the book. All you have to do is press and hold on the typo or mistake that you found, press the three dots that come up, and then choose the option for reporting a content error. Over here, you can enter in exactly what the mistake is, and it'll be sent right to the author. This tip will only work if you have the new Kindle Paperwhite 2021 edition. This will not work in any other Kindle, but it's really helpful to help you figure out which direction you're turning the page. What I'm talking about are the page turn animations. While you're reading a book, press the AA icon on the top of the book, then go to the More menu and toggle on these page turn animations. And every single time you flip the page, it'll show you a nice clean animation. And I find this to be very helpful to know exactly which direction I'm turning pages, especially if I'm going back and forth quite a lot in the chapter that I'm reading. While we're on the topic of turning pages, this next one is very handy if you like to hold your Kindle with one hand. Normally, to turn the page on the Kindle, you have to tap on the left side to go back, on the right side to go forward. Instead, what you can do is simply swipe on the screen, anywhere on the screen. So say you're holding it in your left hand and you want to go to the next page, you just swipe to the left. On the left side of the screen, it'll actually advance to the next page. The swiping gesture works anywhere, so there's no specific part of the screen you have to press. When you put your Kindle in sleep mode, you'll often see a screensaver appear on the display. Now these screensavers look really nice, but sometimes you just want a very clean look with nothing on the screen itself. It turns out it's very possible to do that. All you have to do is press and hold on the power button, wait a few seconds, you'll see an option come up for putting a blank screen, turning the display off completely, and that will wipe the screen clean and show nothing on the device while it's sleeping. Now, if you're like me and enjoy reading on your Kindle at night, oftentimes you may get sucked into your book and have a hard time realizing how much time you've been spending reading. It turns out there's a very easy way to add the clock to the top of the Kindle screen so you always know what time it is while you're reading a book. All you have to do is press the AA menu while you're inside of a book, go to the More menu, you'll see a toggle here for turning on the clock. One of my favorite parts of reading on a Kindle is the ability to jump around a book on any device back and forth, or also clicking on links that take you to web pages directly in the book. It's the beautiful thing about ebooks, but sometimes when you do this, you lose your place in the book that you're reading. There's actually a very easy way to navigate around a book. When you're reading a book on your Kindle, swipe up from the bottom middle, you'll see a whole new menu come up where you can easily navigate through the whole book, see the little progress bar of all the little pages you left off at before, and you could also open up the grid format and see the whole book in a grid view and quickly navigate through the entire book at one glance. This feature is very, very specific to people who like to reread the same book over and over again. It's called the Bookmarks feature. Now, Bookmarks is also the title of my email newsletter where I send out a weekly email showing you which books I'd like to read. If that sounds interesting to you, link down below for that. Let me actually talk about the Bookmarks feature though on the Kindle. The best way I can describe this feature is by giving you an example. Every morning on my Kindle, I have a PDF that I send to my Kindle where I go through and read my morning prayers. Now this is a very long PDF, and oftentimes I'm skipping through it to find the section where I have to read. And when I do this, I have a bookmark saved for each section so I can quickly navigate to that section. This is a very quick way to navigate to a certain page that you know you'll be referencing very, very often. One of the best features of owning a Kindle is being able to highlight and take notes while you read. But sometimes you want to take all these notes that you've taken and have them exported off of your Kindle. There's actually a very, very easy way to do this. All you have to do is while you're reading a book, open the menu on the top and press the little line menu, the one next to the AA icon. And over here, you'll see a tab for your notes and highlights. If you go to the very bottom of this section, you'll see an export notes button over here. It's actually going to email you a very cleanly laid out PDF of every highlight and note you took in that book and send it to your Amazon email address. Once you have it there, you can put it on your computer and do whatever you want with it. Now, if you own a Kindle, you probably already know about being able to adjust the font size, the font, the margins, all that fun stuff in the settings while you're reading a book. But what most people don't know about is the ability to save custom themes of all the font settings that you change. So say you like going back and forth between certain fonts and sizes, depending on the book that you're reading, you can save a theme preset for each of those settings. That way you can easily navigate between them. All you have to do is press the AA menu, change all your settings, and then hit the Save Theme button, and you have a new custom theme saved on your Kindle. When you're reading a book, it's often very handy to have that reading estimate at the bottom of the screen, letting you know about how much time is left in the chapter or the entire book that you're reading. Sometimes though, this reading estimate is very, very wrong. There's a very easy way to reset this and have the Kindle relearn your speed. To do this, just press the magnifying glass, the search icon on the top of the screen, and enter in a semicolon followed by reading time reset. Make sure you spell it exactly the way I have it here with the semicolon. And when you press enter, no search results will come up, but you'll see back in the book now, it's going to relearn your speed of reading. This is a very tricky way of doing it, but it does work. It will do the job. If you take a lot of notes while reading, sometimes you want to go back and search for a note that you took earlier in the book. What you can actually do is search through your notes and highlights instead of the book itself. The way you do this is going to the magnifying glass on the top of the screen, entering in what you want to search for, and when you press the enter button, you're going to see a tab dedicated just for your notes over here. This is a very, very easy way to navigate through just your highlights, so you aren't navigating to the whole book. If there's a certain thing that you know you highlighted at some point, this is a very great way to narrow down your search results. Now, over time, your Kindle is going to get filled up with a bunch of books, and your home screen and the library screen is going to get really cluttered with a bunch of pages of books. And there's actually a very, very easy way to quickly navigate through all these pages that you may be building up. If you actually press on the page number on the bottom right of the home screen over here, it'll bring up this quick navigation menu where you can enter in the page you want to go to or the first letter of the title of the book you're searching for. When you're using a Kindle, there's sometimes a need to take a screenshot of what you're seeing on the screen, whether it's for troubleshooting purposes or wanting to capture exactly what you're reading in the moment. All you have to do is press two opposite corners of the screen at the same time. You'll see the screen flash and the screenshot will be saved to the home folder of your Kindle. At this point, just plug it into your computer. You'll see all your screenshots show up right in the root directory. If you own a Kindle, you may have seen the setting for parental controls. Now, most people, myself included, don't have any use for this, but I recently found that you can actually turn off the Kindle store and lock it using parental controls. And this is very useful because on the home screen, Amazon is constantly trying to send you book recommendations. And if you accidentally press on one, it's going to open up the Kindle store and you have to wait for it to load and then close it out afterwards. If you just lock the Kindle store completely, you can't open up any book recommendation on your Kindle. And this isn't a problem because I buy all my books on the computer and have it sent to my Kindle, so I never actually have to buy a book on the Kindle itself. If you own the new Kindle Paperwhite, especially the Signature Edition, you may be wirelessly charging your Kindle or charging it very frequently because you now have USB-C. When you have this charging ability that makes it so frictionless to charge, you no longer need to have this deep sleep mode enabled on your Kindle. You may have seen turning on your Kindle for the first time after a day or two will take several seconds to turn on. This is because it's going into a power saver mode. You can turn off the power saver mode by going into your device options, followed by advanced settings, and turning off power saver. This will make it so turning on your Kindle after a long period of time is much, much quicker. Speaking of advanced options, while we're in this device options advanced settings menu over here, there's also an option over here for privacy. Now, this is enabled by default, and I recommend turning it off. By default, Amazon is tracking every little tap that you do on your Kindle and using it for marketing purposes. Now you can turn this off and it'll stop sending your data analytics from your Kindle over to Amazon to be used for this purpose. Now Amazon will always still have your history and whatnot, but this is one small step you can take to take control over your privacy. When you're reading on a Kindle, you may sometimes see a bit of a ghosting effect when you turn pages. This means that the previous page is still showing kind of faintly in the background when you turn the page. What you can do is enable this page refresh option, and it'll make sure the page is completely reset after every single page turn. This will take up a bit more battery, but it's a great way to ensure your reading experience is as clean as it possibly can be. Those are my 18 secret advanced tips for your Kindle. If there's something that you know about that I don't, leave a comment down below. I would love to talk to you about that. Also, if you enjoyed this video, chances are you may like my video talking about 10 different ways to take notes on your Kindle. Link for that on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.